The first time I heard about the iPod was when an early adopter, like Will Smith, came out and started talking about how amazing this device is. Adopters are consumers who are generally happy enough with their product trial experience to use it again. Innovation is perceived as new by a potential adopter, so something different, something that is new and improved. The innovation that I perceived to be potentially new and different was the fact that now, for the first time ever, on this one little tiny device, you could fit a gazillion songs. You're probably wondering, like, really? iPod was that big? Yes, the iPod was that big. It was such a huge leap forward. However, there are different categories of adopters. This includes innovators. They tend to adopt something simply because it's new. They love exploring for the sake of exploring and are willing to take a risk, even if those risks result in failure. This is followed by early adopters. They are often opinion leaders. They are similar to innovators in how quickly they adopt, but they are more concerned about the coolness factor and maintaining the reputation as being ahead of the curve on new ideas. This is followed by early majority and late majority. These people are the critical masses that ensure adoption. Early majority looks for productive and practical benefits more than coolness or reputation, whereas the late majority is similar but also expects a lot of help and support before they're willing to commit. Last is laggards. As the term implies, they are slow to adopt. They are the most resistant to change and do so only when forced to adapt because everyone else has, or the product they once used is no longer available. There are some product characteristics that affect the rate of adoption. Complexity. How difficult is it to understand the product or concept? The more complex, the more hesitant we are going to be for change. Compatibility. Does it work with everything else that we have? If the answer is no, is it really worth upgrading everything else we have? The relative advantage. Does this new product that we haven't tried before really make our lives that much better? Observability. Will other people see me using this product and how will they react? If the answer is yes, they will see me using this product and they will react like, oh my god, I can't believe you got that product. Like, that's amazing. Chances are we are going to want that pretty quick. The last one, trialability. Have you guys got Netflix? If the answer is yes, did you free trial with Netflix? That particular strategy of Netflix was really successful. Customers were like, all right, I'm willing to give this a go. And when they jumped on, they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. This concept went on to rapidly increase the adoption of the new technology. As marketers, there are a few things that we can do which also aids the diffusion process. By the way, the definition of diffusion is the spreading of something more widely. As marketers, we can aid the diffusion rate by using promotional strategies, as well as encouraging our customers and potential customers to use word of mouth to convince the people around them that this product is awesome. So, looking a bit deeper into the marketing communication side of things, this is defined as the passing on of information from marketers to the public via a range of promotional activities. This could include conventional advertising like TV, radio, newspapers, billboards, posters, direct mail, as well as using a range of social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, engaging in product placements. So, for example, featuring our products in movies. Have you guys noticed Samsung phone turns up in Avengers quite a few times? As well as having launch parties and events, and of course, getting social influencers on board. So, the relationship between the diffusion process and the product lifecycle. The product lifecycle has four stages: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. At the introduction stage, sales go up fairly gradually and then really start to pick up pace. The next stage is growth, where our sales are going up pretty quickly, which also means we're making money right now as well. Our profits going up pretty quickly as well. At the introduction stage, because we're covering costs from the past, we're not really making that much money, but at the growth stage, good money. However, eventually we go from growth to maturity. This is where we're still making more sales every month going forward, but we're making slightly less more sales going forward. The speed is truly slowing down, which also means our profit starts to slow down as well. And eventually we get into the decline phase. This is where every month we're making less sales than we did in the previous month, and our profit is also declining quite sharply. In terms of the diffusion process, the innovators, which represents 2.5% of the overall market, they're the ones that get involved in the introduction phase. But of course, the innovators are followed pretty quickly by the early adopters. This is represented by 13.5% of the overall market. As these guys get on board, the early majority realizes, hey, there's something happening over here. And then they get on board, but by which point we're firmly in the growth phase. So as you can see in the growth phase, sales are going up quite sharply, as is our profits. And then we hit maturity phase. This is where the late majority kicks in. Now the product's been out for a while, everyone knows it works, and perhaps due to increased competition, there's some good deals to be had. So the late majority comes in. The product is still good, but it's not brand new. From late majority, we go through the maturity and eventually the decline phase. And as a product starts to go out of fashion, that's where the laggards come in, and they make up the final 16% of our overall customers. If our product is entering the decline stage, as a marketer, there are a couple of things that we're possibly going to think about doing. Our product is on its way out. Let's just end it here. No more promotion, start spending less and less money till we start spending no money at all in terms of promoting the product, and get ready for our next generation of product to come out. The other thing that we can also look at doing is running promotional campaigns designed around immediate or short-term sales. The idea is the product does get discounted, but we end up selling large volumes and basically clearing our stock, and thereby still making money. Quite often what ends up happening for successful product lines is you get line extensions every year, where a new version of the same product comes out, and thereby keeping that overall product in the market for much longer. There is another side concept that I would like to introduce to you guys really quickly. It's the 80-20 rule. Basically states that 20% of your efforts end up producing 80% of your results. That's why it's important to manage your time in a way that focuses your attention on key efforts that will produce the vast majority of your results. Having a look at the product lifecycle, as well as the different adopters, this basically means we're going to spend 80% of our time promoting to people who are not going to get us the best results. So we have to be careful and make sure we spend the 20% of our time very effectively attracting the innovators, the early adopters, and the early majority, as they will get us 80% of our overall results. Or according to the diffusion curve map, at least 50% of our result. But they will then go on to encourage the late majority and the laggards to get on board as well. Overall, as marketers, we need to know where's our product at so that we can make sure we have a pipeline of products coming through before one product becomes obsolete and no longer required by the market that we serve, as well as we take our limited resources in terms of our budget, our time, as well as people resources, and use them wisely to stay ahead of changing styles, fleeting fashion, and the quick fads.